The Melbourne Derby is one of the fiercest rivalries in Australian football. Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory have been battling it out for years, and it's always an electrifying match. In this video, we will take a look at the next Melbourne Derby and also analyze the key developments of round 17 in the A-League. We will now walk through all the games with analysis and predictions. And at the end, I'm showing my picks for each game so you can use them as well if you want to. Now, let's talk football. Western United opens the round versus Wellington Phoenix on Friday. Wellington Phoenix is still in the top 6 with 21 points, but has to keep adding points to remain in the dispute for the ticket to the finals. Western United is in a very different situation, holding now the 11th position with 16 points, which is actually not very far from the top 6 zone. The data indicate that Western United is slightly better than Wellington Phoenix. In terms of average scoring, Western United has 1.22 versus 1.14 for the Knicks. And in goals conceded, Western United has 1.44 versus 1.57 for the Knicks. Prijovic and Milanovic have each 4 goals as the top goal scorers, but the best performing player is Joshua Riston, with 4 assists and 2 goals. It's unclear if the defender Nikolai Topor is playing since he was out last round due to an injury, and it may affect the defensive system. On the Phoenix side, Zawada is the top goal scorer with 8 goals so far. Bozidar Kraev follows with 6 goals, and Clayton Lewis has been given a strong support in the midfield. Costa Barbarosas may not play in this round due to an injury. This is a game of 2 very similar teams in terms of data. In the last encounter, Western United beat Wellington Phoenix by 3-2 and playing away. The major challenge for them this time will be stopping Zawada to score. And if they accomplish the mission, which I believe they will, the victory may be closer. So I'm backing 2-1 for Western Sydney. On Saturday, Macarthur receives Newcastle Jets. Both teams are really close to the top 6. It's the 8th playing against the 7th, and whoever wins may end the round in the top 6. In terms of data, Macarthur has scored 1.5 goals per game and conceded 1.13 on average. They finally found a way to the victories after only 1 point in the 4 games. Newcastle Jets isn't backed by data this time, with 0.75 goals scored and 1.88 goals conceded playing away. However, they are living a better moment without losing in the last 5 games straight. Matt Miller is the top goal scorer with 4 goals, and Arzani is the high assist player with also 4 assists. Daniel Da Silva is the key player of the team and controls the midfield. If he plays well, then the Bulls perform better. On the Jets' side, Beka Mikeltadze is the top goal scorer with 4 goals and counts with Joshua Sotillo and Trent to create scoring chances. The young striker Archie Goodwin may enter during the game or even start, so take a look on him because the kid has been proving his value in the team. So yeah, keep your eyes on him. Reno Piscopo got a serious injury and may not play for a few rounds. Both teams are struggling to keep good form in the competition. They have same points and similar goals difference. Anything could happen here, but I'm feeling a draw from this game, so 2-2. Also on Saturday, Sydney FC receives Brisbane Roar in a match that could put Sydney in the 2nd place or leave Roar in the last play at the end of the round. The data puts Sydney as a better team than the Brisbane. They score 1.29 per game and concede 1.86 goals on average, while Brisbane scores 0.86 goals on average and concedes 1.43 goals when playing away. Ryan Grant may be coming back from the suspension, but the top goal scorer with 6 goals, Adam Lefondre, may not play for several months due to an injury, which is a massive upset for Sydney. Joe Lawley and Robert Mack should take the protagonism now. Brisbane has been struggling so much after the departure of Charlie Austin. Carlo Amiento and Jay O'Shea are the key players of the team, with the former being the most important for goals and assists. There are no injury or suspended players for this match. Brisbane Roar desperately needs to score some goals but they don't have a striker to rely on as of yet. Also, Sydney FC's moment is better, but without their main striker, the game gets interesting. I still think they can make a win due to the better moment, so I'm going for 1-0 Phoenix FC. Do you see this QR code in the center? This is the free pass to my community on Telegram. Scan it now or go to predictortalk.com/join-community to be part as well. There is a place to talk football 24/7, and we also cover more bets from other leagues. So join us now. The Melbourne Derby puts fire on the Saturday games. Both teams are in extreme opposition on the ladder. It's the first versus the last, and I'm sure this game will be full of drama, chantings, and field battles. The data is clear about Melbourne City being the best team in this game. Their scoring average is 1.88 versus 1.33 to victory, and the goals conceded are 0.88 to City versus 1.17 to victory. Jake Bremer is the top goal scorer with 3 goals and definitely the hope for goals. Bruno Fornaroli is also a good player for the victory for this game, since he has the experience and could be deadly to the opposition's defense with a few shots. Bruno Camal and Fernando Romero add quality to the team if they play. Melbourne City fans must be happy with James McLaren's goals in the competition. It's 16 so far, making him the top goal scorer in the league. Van der Ven, Leckie, and Marco Tilio are also super dangerous to any opposition because they together sum 12 goals. This is a derby. Anything can happen, regardless of the team's position and the data. Emotional play an essential part in this game, and how the players react against the other team's active supporters is fundamental. That being said, Melbourne City playing style is strong, and I can see them winning this game. So 2-1 for Melbourne City. Closing the Saturday games, Perth Glory receives Central Coast Mariners. After losing their first game at home, they are now facing the second place in the competition in a challenging game. Perth Glory is in the 9th position with only 2 points away from the top 6. The data indicate that Perth Glory is slightly better than Central Coast Mariners. Glory scores 1.88 goals per game and concedes 1.5 goals on average, while the Mariners scores 1.71 and concedes 1.43 goals per game. David Williams is the Glory's top scorer with 5 goals, especially with Jacob's help when he plays to provide assists, and now Adam Taggart adding quality to the attack. Perth Glory has a few injured players, and it definitely has been affecting the team's performance. Jason Cummings on the Mariners side is the second best goal scorer of the A-League with 10 goals. He has strong support from Samuel Silveira, Ben Nkololo, and Marco Tulio. It's hard to manage to stop these 4 players, and Brian Kautak may return from suspension. This is a huge challenge to Glory, even though they play at home close to their supporters. I feel like this game could be a little open because both Perth Glory and Central Coast Mariners have fast counterattacks. However, in my opinion, the Mariners players are more skilled than Glory's from the attack to the defense. For this reason, I believe that it could end at 3-2 for the Mariners. We close the round with a very interesting game. Adelaide, which is the 3rd place, received Western Sydney Wanderers, which is the 4th. Adelaide overtook the 3rd place position in the last round after Western Sydney lost in the Sydney Derby. This game becomes interesting because whoever won could end in the 2nd place. The data indicate that Adelaide is a better team than Western Sydney. Adelaide scores 1.57 per game and concedes 0.57 on average. And Western Sydney scoring and conceding average is the same at 0.88 per game. Craig Goodwin is the Adelaide's top goal scorer with 7 goals. I can't stress enough his importance to the team. Not only for scoring, but assisting and creating chances, he is fundamental to Adelaide's creation for this game. On the red side, Brendo Borrello and Ieni are the top goal scorers with 4 goals each, and Bozanic follows with 3 goals. Schneiderlin is getting a few minutes as well as Milanovic, so the squad is getting rotation and quality. These are two teams with very different characteristics. One relies on a player to create chances, and the other plays defensively first. Adelaide will need some inspiration from Ibuzuki and Halloran to overcome Marcelo and Marcello's defensive skills. I guess this is a tie game, but Adelaide has a slightly better moment, so I'm going with 1-0. Now, I would like to show you all the bets I'm placing for this upcoming round. Be mindful that the odds may be different from what you see here. Feel free to copy them to your bet slip, but never use any money you can't afford to lose. Sports betting has a risk as any other investment, and nobody becomes rich overnight, so always bet responsibly. Subscribe to the channel to receive the next game's analysis. The space is now open for you to share your opinions. Let me know what your predictions are for this game in the comments. And I'll see you soon.